Let me save some time. If you're looking for voyeurism into Roland Martin's sex life so that you can kind of like dive into that a little bit and get all the sort of details of what happened with him.
This information that we got on Roland Martin came from a fellow blogger that I know who's in the hip hop world, Poetik Flakko. We both tag team this story together.
Instead, what I'm going to do is elevate this conversation, focus on what happens when media gatekeepers such as Roland Martin, when the wool is no longer over the eyes of the viewers, and what we see when we look back and say, hey.
I've also spoken with Roland Martin's team, his lawyers, and everybody, and they gave me the deets on how everything unfolded.
These moral people giving out the moral authority, telling us what we need to be focused on, how we need to vote, how we need to politic. What happens when they are exposed for being who they are?
How Roland Martin got on the bed, spreading his legs wide.
Not walking the talk that they talk. You're in the right place. I'm Tim Black. What's up with the hypocrisy? Remember, Roland Martin's a guy who's been saying these things, and here was a clip that Tasha K played that I thought was amazing because I don't think I'd seen this before.
Isn't that not protecting the Black family? Isn't that reinforcing the very things that he's talking about in this video? Go ahead, John.
The thing that I think we have to confront is that what we are describing today, 70% of kids being born out of wedlock, fewer African Americans getting married. You have a higher number of Black women who are going to college versus Black men who are in college, and they're saying, who am I going to marry later? All of this is absolutely preventable. It's not going to start in the White House. It's not going to start in Douglas County. It's not going to start with the county government city council. It's actually going to start exactly where we are. I've often made it clear that if we're going to have a strong America, a strong Black America, that is going to require African Americans all across this country in various states to be strong just where they are. And strong states mean strong cities mean strong neighborhoods mean strong blocks mean strong streets, strong streets mean strong houses, and that means that somebody in that house has to say, this is how we are going to operate.
See, it's not just as you're lying so that you can collect membership fees, sell your wares, go on your tours, do your speaking engagements, develop a massive following. You're also lying to control people being autonomous in holding the Democratic Party accountable. So when I'm looking at what's happening with Roland Martin, when I'm seeing this unravel, it reminds me that this is not isolated just to his personal sexual activities in his marriage infidelity. What I'm saying is dishonesty breeds dishonesty. And it's of a self-serving nature. And it's not to serve you or me or my kids or your community, your block, your city, any of that. It's to serve a political party which serves satisfaction to Roland in the form of money, career opportunity, and to be the HNIC of independent political media. And we got to call that out and wake up to what the reality is. Unless we all want to be screwed. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be screwed. And I want to get to this other point that Tasha K and Flakko brought up because it's about accountability and gatekeeping.
I think this has more to do with Roland's morals.
Yeah. Of course.
And what he preaches and does not live. Because go ahead.
No, true. So here's how I think this will impact Roland. I don't think that the nigga net is gonna see this and say, oh man, bro, we're done with Roland. Now Roland can't do his usual, which is whenever somebody is in a scandal, he comes on his channel, does a 5-hour live stream, and act holier than thou. That's over with.
It's a solid point.
But I think because of all of the shit that he's like spoken against so many people, he's held so many people to the fire. I mean, even me, your platform is deplorable. You lie, you do this. What I got on you ain't no lie, brother.
That's
and
deplorable.
the way that I give my information is real.
Yeah.
You just hadn't been across my platform. You
At
just
all.
hadn't been across my desk. Now you across my desk. I wonder what his thoughts are going to be now, because his lawyer is saying, "Oh, we respect everything you do, Tasha. Please just don't put out. Make sure that they say it's a woman." I think he's just more concerned with, "I'm not gay" narrative. It's gone.
This is why we even know about this Roland Martin story, is because independent media like Flakko and Tasha K broke the story. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I'm an independent media. See, corporate media, such as Reid and DL Hughley, even though they are now independent by force after losing their multi-million-dollar salary positions, they still won't confront these issues. But ask yourself this: is this with Sean Hannity, Daily Wire guy, Ben Shapiro, or whatever? You think they'd be quiet? And you think the silence on this Roland Martin scandal, because that's what it is, you think that benefits you in some way? Is that what we think? And see, it's that thinking of those that do think it benefits Black America to be lied to deny reality, to live in a cocoon of obliviousness, to be aloof. And meanwhile, be sitting in a lake of fire that's constantly burning, an existence that if white people woke up tomorrow and they were doing as bad as we're doing in wealth, education, graduation, life expectancy, this country, forget people shouting about democracy is over, this shit literally would be over. So the only reason why I really... that makes sense to me to even cover Roland Martin, except for the fact, notwithstanding the fact that he has shitted on me and people in Black media, independent media, repeatedly over here the last 15 years, punching down on us from his CNN former seat, his News One former seat, his perch, his Kamala money. It's because I believe it bleeds over into things that do matter beyond what Roland Martin's proclivities are or are not. It's bigger than that. And until we realize that it's bigger than that, what we doing? How we gonna get ahead? I got some good people watching. They say, well, you know, Roland Martin deserves grace. Here's the thing. If the shoe was on the other foot with the same amount of grace, would Roland extend that unless it was an elite that is a friend of his? I think we know the answer to that. And still I say, I wouldn't even touch this had it not be for the fact that Roland is who he is. And this is a example, a clear example on a silver platter that Roland has been faking the funk. He's not only been bringing the funk, he's been faking the funk. You can't demand grace from a people who you've denied grace to. You have not given grace to us, so why should you be afforded grace? Neither will nor grace owe you any grace. Graceland don't owe you grace. You better say some grace. Did you get any grace at all? Instead of writing me to tell me, Tim Black, it's not right for you to pile on this brother, you need to write that brother, tell him being the moral authority that his position he wanted to assume comes with a certain set of skills or qualifications and a certain amount of requirements. And part of those requirements are that you actually live up to the moral critiques that you disseminate, that you label, that you give out to others. You got to live by that, sir. You can't go in on Nicki Minaj and then be having somebody in your garage. You can't call out Trumpy when you playing Humpty Dumpty.
Folks, as I told you, I'm here in Santee, South Carolina.
where Congressman Jim Clyburn is having his annual golf tournament. And so y'all know how I feel about golf. Now, he claims he's a big-time golfer. I ain't never seen it. And so he joins us right now. Congressman, come on over here. How's it going?
Going great, going great.
All right,
so much for being here.
Glad to be here. So first and foremost,
see how fast the political elites hide behind legal protections when they no longer have or are getting favorable press. We need to get legal representation involved.
Here, Joy, people aren't talking about a lot of these issues. You don't hear a conversation about the FCC on many of these other podcasts and shows. I need people to understand.
Here's the thing. See, when Roland is shaming voters, the voters he's shaming the black voters. Even though black community 90% of the time is voted for white Democrat liberals. Roland, when he gets on his high horse, who is he corralling and shaming? He ain't shaming white Democrats. He's shaming black folks who may be independent voters or agnostic, or who'd rather sit on the couch than participate in a system that isn't doing them any good. And I understand how those people feel, because this system could make one person, could make it be apathetic, could make it feel like, what is the point? So this guy's been moral grandstanding about what black people need to do from a position of not really having room to talk. That's the issue. That's one of the issues. See, me to tell me we ain't going to hold the politicians accountable for taking the AIPAC money, for not standing on business with black policy that directly impacts black Americans. We can make the Democrats do whatever we want them to do. But we don't, because we got people like Roland telling us that ain't how it works. Now, it works the way we want it to work, don't it, Roland? Everything else does, doesn't it? See, rules are made to be bent, wiped out when it suits you, but when it suits us, now we got to follow this rigid program of how things really work. No, we don't. See, what we need right now is we need unscripted, unbiased, realistic media, independent media that is willing to call out the left, the right, the purple, the yellow, the black, the white, and to maintain a set viewpoint that is not guided by money, not guided by interest, not guided by career opportunity, not guided by political affiliation, not guided by any of that, only guided by what the goals of the media should be, which is to tell the truth and let the people decide. Yeah, what Roland did here was horrible, but, look, thank goodness that Tasha K and Poetik Flakko, no matter what you got to say about them, thank God they got the guts to put this out here, because if it was going to be left up to Joy Reid, you'll never see this. If it's going to be left up to the Native Pie, you ain't going to never see this. If it's got to be left up to Don Lemonhead and DL Hughley, you'll never hear about this. If it's got to be left up to these people that you have given your viewership for decades to tell the truth about their own, oh, that's not going to happen. We got them right now running interference telling us that Hunter Biden is the best thing since sliced bread, and that mofo was smoking crack in the White House, allegedly. And they done rehab this image the same way they rehab George Bush's, the same way they're going to rehab Roland Martin's. Or maybe they won't be able to. Maybe they done with Roland. And maybe it's time, if we're not done with him, it's time we put him in proper perspective. Media, will corporate media ever recover its moral authority with black America? Or are them days long and gone, and has America, or black America particularly, have we finally moved past it? Have we finally accepted they not like us? Or we still gonna be out here listening to Drake albums? Roland is Drake. Okay. Tune in tonight at 10 o'clock p.m. for the Tim Black Show. Until then, remember, lies are easy. Lies are safe. The truth is dangerous. Stay dangerous.